what are the pros and cons of a W-2 versus a 1099?
High level W-2 employee, you are an employee. You have a fiduciary responsibility with your time and they to the company, and the company kind of controls you. And they tell you when to come in, they tell you when to leave, they tell you what to wear, all that stuff. On the tax side, you cannot deduct expenses until you have expenses that exceed 2% of your gross income. Well, look, I mean, if you're making $1 million a year for easy math, that's $200,000 of expenses. I'm talking pencils all the way to cell phones. You're not doing that. Plus, typically the company pays for that. So typically you're not going to have the same deductions and write-offs as a 1099. One other distinction is the payroll tax, and this one's really tough. If clients ask me, I just talked actually with a radiologist about this, says, look, I can stay getting paid X amount at 1099, or I can go to a W-2 salary and make less. I typically say, look, if it's about a 15% difference, I would potentially say, take the W-2. It's
Mhm.
less headache. You've got all of your benefits built in. So the 1099, in contrast to the W-2, doesn't have any benefits. You are literally just an independent contractor. You don't owe that same fiduciary responsibility to the company. But on the other hand, you don't have benefits. You do have to pay 100% of your payroll tax. That's 15% plus up to the wage base. And then after that, it's another like 3%. Whereas over here in the W-2, you're only paying the 7.65%, half of the 15% up to the wage base. And so, in addition to the sort of benefit loss, you also have a headache as a 1099. You are your own boss. So, you have to set up a SEP IRA if you want to put money in pre-tax. You're going to have to do things that I don't know if accounting is going to be harder. So there are differences with either one of them. On the 1099 side, you do get to deduct everything that your accountant allows you to deduct, any business
Mm.
expenses. So there is that benefit, and you are beholden to no one. You are your own boss.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Yeah,
how I
when you have
explain
a
the pros and
financial
cons.
plan, there's always a target we're working toward, right? An objective target we're working toward. And so when the question is asked, right, 1099 or W-2, we can actually get pretty objective with that answer. And we'll, of course, bring the accountant in on that conversation. But to your point, there are more deductions you can take on a 1099, but there are more expenses associated with it, and a little more heavy lifting. W-2, you really can't take as many deductions, although that's what we've talked about is helping W-2 doctors be able to take some deductions along the way. Um, I get the question a lot too. It's like, well, I'm a 1099. I'm losing all my benefits. And you touched on that. And the reality is, look, we can help you get set up with your own retirement plan. We can get you help set up with, your payroll. We have different contacts. We'll help you get connected to bankers to get all of your accounts opened and set up. And so, although there are additional efforts that need to go into setting up 1099, we're equipped to be able to walk our clients through that process after we've made an objective decision with the accountant as to whether or not it makes economic sense. But that's certainly something that is in our wheelhouse that we spend a lot of time discussing.